that intestine spaghetti. It was different, but it was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it was actually really good. There's a lot of times during the rainy season it'll just rain like crazy, and it won't stop for a month and a half. It won't be raining 24 hours a day, but you're gonna get 3 or 4 showers a day. So just be ready to get wet. That's just part of life down there. You get wet, or you're inside, you're teaching somebody in their apartment. You just stick around until the rain stops and head out again. Just keeping your eye out for the rain. Crazy, I had a couple. Dangerous, I never really had. The most dangerous that I had was in my last area when they had that drug war going on. The most sketchy that it got for me was we were out a little after 9 because we were just coming back to our apartment, and there were 12 cop cars that passed us with their lights flashing. It's like, oh snap, we gotta get back. Because they weren't going slow, they were running somewhere. So there was something going on. So we just booked it back to our apartment. Crazy stuff. You may want to watch out for the girls sometimes, because some of them are they're just after the guys, after the missionaries. That's all they want. They want to come back to the States. They just want to get out of Brazil. Other than that, not too much. It's actually pretty similar to the States. It's just the culture's a lot more open. They'll talk to you a lot more. My dad had warned me about a trick that a lot of missionaries try to do with junior companions who are learning the language. They'll try to, like, for my dad, when he served in Argentina, they would try to get the missionaries to say, "Estoy grávida." She's like, "I'm pregnant." And the missionaries would joke around, like, "Yeah, it means you're satisfied, you're good." So they would try to get the younger companions to say that after lunch. So the members would just kind of get a kick out of it. Other than that, it's just kind of funny. A lot of the times, I would make a pretty common mistake saying the word the prophet. It's profeta in Portuguese. Male and female. It's a feminine word, but it's for a masculine person, so it threw me off a lot. So a lot of the times I would say a profeta, which is the prophetess, translated. So it's like I would call Joseph Smith the prophetess sometimes. But it's just a mistake that it just takes practice to get over. I learned how to get around on the Brazilian buses. If you ever wanted to play the game Sardines, you can't get any more extreme than a Brazilian bus. They have the signs in there and it says like 70 people sitting, 30 people standing. Not on a Brazilian bus. You're talking 140 sitting and probably 150 standing in the bus. At least the double or triple buses, because they've got the accordion ones. But it's literally like they're crazy about the buses. When the bus gets there, everybody wants to get on at once. So you got to be quick about it, because I heard stories about missionaries who would accidentally leave a companion behind because they'd get on the bus and their companion wasn't assertive enough and wouldn't get on. So they'd go down to the next stop and they'd have to walk back to get to him. So just getting around on a Brazilian bus, I learned how to cook a couple of things that I never knew how. A couple of the Brazilian foods, not much. Just basically the rice type stuff, but it's good food. Definitely that the Spirit is there. He talks to you, and when He testifies, it is so strong. The experience that comes to mind was actually, it was one of my recent converts. When I got to the area in Manaus, he'd been going to church already for about 4 months. Neither I nor my companion knew that he wasn't a member. He was always there. He was always helping. We didn't know he was a member until his girlfriend said, "Yeah, when are you going to baptize him?" It's like, he needs to be? It was like, what? Let's do it now. He's ready. He's been going to church for 4 months. He's way past the expiration date. He's ready. So we were there. And like we just had to go through the lessons with him, so we went through them really fast. But when we made the invitation for him to be baptized, we'd planned it all out. My companion was going to ask him, and then when it came to the moment, neither of us could talk. the Spirit had gotten so strong during that lesson that he was crying. He could not talk. It was so strong. I was literally crying. I almost couldn't talk. It's just like, Tiago, James, you know this is true. You know you need to do this. And he was crying too. It was just so strong. His grandparents said no for a little while, and the testimony builder came. He told us later. He said, I'm almost 18. Give me 2 months. I will sign my own papers. I want to be baptized. He knows the church is true. There's not a shadow of doubt in his mind. He was actually the last baptism that I got to see in that area. And then I found out later on he's teaching a seminary there. He's the ward executive secretary. He helps out in the bishopric and everything. Now that he has the Melchizedek priesthood, he's been doing a lot of work. He's getting ready to serve his mission now, which I am so excited for him. He's going to be an incredible missionary. It was actually the first baptism of one of my investigators, which is like the big deal. Kind of the same deal. She'd already been to church a couple of times, and she'd already spoken with the missionaries like 3 years ago, but for some reason she said it just was not right for her. And then 2 days after I got there to that area, we had lunch with the second counselor in the branch presidency, and he had his sister there, who's her friend. His sister's less active. We were trying with her the whole time to get her reactivated. For me, it never happened. But we ran into Adrienne there at lunch. She came to lunch because his sister had invited her. So she was just there, and we're just kind of talking. And then we just kind of got on the subject. She asked us just what's a basic overview of the church history. So we just kind of started talking, explaining it, and then she would start asking about the doctrine and everything. We spent probably 3 hours. We were there from about noon until 4, just teaching. She wanted to know so badly. We just spent like 3 hours teaching her, and then we're just like, yeah, when can we come by to your house? When can we come back? And she said, you can come back at 9 o'clock tonight. So she just told us, I just want to know. So we ended up going back that night. We went out and worked for like 2 hours, 3 hours, and then we came back to her place. And it was the same deal. It was teaching. We ended up teaching that at her that day. I think we taught her like 7 hours straight. She just wanted to know so much. And she said it was just making so much sense to her. Nothing that she'd heard before made as much sense. So it was Thursday when we started teaching her. It's like the rules for being eligible to be baptized that she had to go to church at least 3 times. So we just asked her, have you been to the church already? And she's like, yeah. There was a time that I went and I was there. I went every week for like a month and a half. It's like, okay, we can do it this week. We could baptize her this week if she wanted it. So we kind of helped her, and we talked about it for a little while, and then Friday we just asked her, what do you think? What do you think about getting baptized? And she said, yeah, I want to do it. It sounds like it just feels right. So we went ahead. We got her scheduled for her interview Friday night. We'd gone by Friday morning, talked to her. We got it scheduled for Friday night. We went and did the interview Friday night, and she got baptized on Saturday. So literally, from Thursday to Saturday, it was incredible to see how fast the Spirit can work. There's times that it's different for every person. There's times it's slower, but it was incredible to see how fast He can work when the people are ready. It was 2 days, 48 hours, and she was baptized. Wow. From first lesson to baptism in 2 days. It was incredible.